Okay. Yeah. So, guys, I think at this point, I will allow us to start so that we don't keep you for long. And I will start now by introducing myself. So my name is Humphrey Konge. I'm a nurse by profession, a nurse who studied at the University of Nairobi and graduated in the year 2013. Did my internship at Kiambu County Referral Hospital in Kenya. And thereafter worked elsewhere, different places. And I did my USRN process, started actually 2019. Was affected much by COVID-19, but I was able to complete it through the Texas Board of Nursing. So currently I serve as the programs director with an organization called Passcode Global Consultants. And what we do is that we help nurses to do what we call self-sponsored program to become nurses in the USA. So I'm going to do a presentation, but I will allow, I am joined by two colleagues. This was an abrupt meeting, but I am joined by two colleagues whom we work with. So I will allow Zablon to say hi, and then after Zablon, I will call upon Emma to say hi. You can say hi and what you do at Passcode. So Zablon. Just unmute and say hi.
Hi everyone. So my name is Zabron Gadi. Most of the time I manage the learning portal and I manage the classes. Thank you.
Okay, so Zablon is the person who helps us with the online learning portal for NCLEX revision program, and also making sure that our classes sail through smoothly, mostly in the evenings. Yeah, so I will also invite Emma to say hi and what she does at Passcode and whatever else she would like to say. Emma?
Hello everyone. My name is Emma Catherine. I am the marketing officer at Passcode Global Consultants, and I'm glad that you are on board. Thank you.
Okay. So now I will go ahead and introduce Passcode to you guys. So Passcode Global Consultants is an organization based in Kenya, but serving nurses across the globe. And majorly, so I have a presentation which I will do. I'll request everyone to mute themselves. Zablon, kindly assist me on that. Yeah, so my presentation is titled Cost of the USRN Process, but in it I'm going to tell you about everything that you need to know. Yeah, so I think I've already said my name. And let me start by introducing our organization. Our organization is called Passcode Global Consultants. We are a USRN support organization. So we help nurses to do their USRN program and become nurses, registered nurses in the USA. Now, our major service and focus is what we call the self-sponsored program. Like Joel told me, majority of you guys are fresh from school, if I'm not wrong, and you will find that maybe sometimes getting a job for you to get the required experience is a bit tough, sometimes kind of hard. So about 3 to 4 years ago, it was very difficult for someone to go to the US or do the US process without an agency. Because agencies were sponsoring and doing everything for nurses. So even those nurses who had already done the process, they didn't understand how to do the process. So Passcode came in the gap to help nurses who were not qualifying for the agency programs to be able to do the US process by themselves. And that is what we do up to now. And actually, majority of the nurses prefer to do the self-sponsored program because of the benefits that I'm going to outline later in this presentation. So our major clients are people like you, registered nurses, people who have already done the NCK, Nursing Council of Kenya, or the nursing exam for your board, and you already have your license. You must be meeting the legal requirements. I will be telling you which documents you require to be having. And then we have a physical office in Nairobi City, the building called KTDA Plaza, 4th floor. So you can decide to come and see us in the office. We will give you audience for about 30 minutes to 1 hour, and we'll ask all your questions because sometimes you may be having personalized questions. We have a dedicated staff who have invested a lot in research concerning labor migration for nurses, trends in job and working conditions for nurses in the USA and other countries. And as well, we have dedicated tutors because if you have to go to work in the USA, you need to do an exam called NCLEX and an English exam, either IELTS or OET. If you'd like to go work in Germany, you have to do the German language, which we also offer, and the German Nursing Council exam while you are there. So what we do, we have various services that we offer. One of the services that we offer to nurses is actually giving information, and we give information for free. That is why called me and notified me that we have nurses who would like to know about the US process. I told him, when are you guys ready? And then here we are to give information. So we have actually popularized the gospel of a self-sponsored program quite a lot. And we have seen some through the program. Others are already in the US as we talk, and others are at different stages of the program. So apart from offering information, we also assist nurses to do what we call NCLEX registrations. So when you want to register for NCLEX, it is not a one-off thing. You see, like if you want to register for NCK to be a nurse, there's a short process that you undergo. They have to verify that you are in a school of nursing. They have to verify your biodata, your civil documents. Probably they have to check your high school certificate. So you can imagine now when you want to register in the USA, they have to check whether you went to high school. They have to check whether you went to nursing school. They have to check whether you are registered by your nursing council at home. That is in your home country. They have to check whether you did exams in your school of nursing, whether you did exams for nursing council. They have to check whether your license has ever been suspended. They have to check whether you have any criminal background record. And then they have to subject you to an exam. So it is a process that takes about 4 to 6 months, and we help in those registrations. Then as we register you for NCLEX, we also enroll you to a class where we start preparing you for the exam. And then once you have done the exam and you have passed, we enroll you to our English language program to prepare you for either IELTS, IELTS, or OET, whatever you choose. And once you pass that, we move you to the next step where we assist you with a job search in the to the US. You get an employer, and once you get an employer, you start the immigration process. So in the process of getting an employer, we also help you with interview preparations so that you don't get bad experiences when you are doing interviews to get an employer to the USA. So apart from that, we also do other processes like shorter processes for nurses to go to the UK, Republic of Ireland, and Germany, among other countries. So the poster you can see here, for instance, is for our class that is coming up on July 15th. It is usually a 4-month program. So we subject you to a class for 4 months with live review classes. You attend classes on Zoom, a platform like the one we are using currently. You learn about the entire nursing curriculum for the US. We call it NCLEX curriculum. And then we give you enough questions. We do assessments for you. You do exams. We open the online learning portal for you. You interact with it. You listen to the recordings. You watch the videos that are there. That is in addition to the NCLEX live classes. We give you a mentor. The mentor walks the journey with you. And when you are ready for the exam, we schedule your exam. Okay. So I will take you briefly through the process of becoming a nurse in the US. And I want you to note that I have 2 pathways, which I would like you to know. And this is very important for you because some people know some of the secrets here when they are already in the US. Yeah. So, there are 2 main pathways through which you can become a nurse in the US. Pathway 1 is when you are sponsored by sponsoring agents. We are not going to name any agency here. And pathway 2 is when you do a self-sponsored program, like what we do at Passcode. So there are some agencies that will sponsor you for the process, and I have categorized them as in 3 categories. The first category is an agency that gives you full sponsorship for the USRN process. So what I mean here, if you want to sponsor yourself for the NCLEX process, you will spend about something around 1,700 US dollars. That's around 230, 250 Kenyan shillings, 1,000 Kenyan shillings. So agency A is sponsoring you that amount, plus the cost of traveling to test to take the exam outside Kenya or outside your country, if you don't have a center in your country. Now, agency category B is does for you partial sponsorship. So like if the total cost is $2,000, they sponsor you $1,000, you cater for $1,000. Then agency category C, they usually guide you, but you make the payments. After you have passed NCLEX, they refund you the money you have used, and then they employ you, all right? Now, when you are being sponsored by an agency, these are some of the things that the agency sponsors you. Number 1, document verification. They are going to pay for your CGFNS and JSA, or JSA that is. I will explain to you what these are later, or maybe I can mention it right now. CGFNS is a body that verifies your documents, that is civil documents, academic documents, and professional documents, to show that you are a real person. You have gone to a real school registered by the government. You have a license which is recognized by the Nursing Council. And then the agency will also register you for boards and pay for your board of nursing. Now, board of nursing in the US is like now the Nursing Council, but every state in the US have their own board of nursing. Yeah. So if you mention a state like California, there is California Board of Nursing. When you mention Washington, for example, there is Washington Board of Nursing. Arizona, there is Arizona Board of Nursing, Montana, etc. ATT application is once your board is ready, we apply for a document called ATT. That is like an examination card, which allows you to take the exam. Now, agency also helps you to do NCLEX preparation. and they also fund you to travel to the test center. They also purchase for you a document called visa screen. And then they now, after you have passed NCLEX, they actually employ you. You become what we call an agency nurse. So you are employed by an agency. Then they pay for your visa fees. But if you are a family person, for example, you have a spouse and children, they don't pay for the spouse and children, they only pay for the nurse. Okay. And then they also pay for your air ticket once you are ready to travel to the USA. Okay. So these are things that the agency is not going to sponsor for you. Nursing board verification fees, like if you are taking your documents to the nursing council, they are not going to pay for you. But recently we have seen, I know one agency that actually is paying even that. School of Nursing verification fees, they are not going to pay for you that. So maybe to enlighten you on that, because I think majority of you are Kenyans in this meeting. Nursing Council, if you have one license, say for example, you have done a diploma only or you have done a degree only, the Nursing Council is going to charge you 12,000 shillings for verification. Nursing schools charge different amounts of money. Say, for example, if I'll give you an example with KMTC, since it's the largest in terms of producing nurses, it charges 5,000 to do verification for you. Extra coaching, if you need extra coaching and you are under agency, they are not going to pay for that. Family visa fees, they will not pay for that. Medical examinations, they will not pay for that. And travel fee for family members, they will not pay for that. Now, once the agency has taken you, this is how they recover their money. Because before people knew what was happening, 2 to 3, 4 years ago, the agencies were not disclosing what they are doing, but some states required them to be disclosing to the nurses what they usually do, because some nurses would get to the US and then they realize that they are being paid more than what they should be. I mean, they are being paid less than what they should be earning. And it becomes a shock to them because this was not disclosed to them by their employer. So some people say that when an agency funds you, it is a free process. There is nothing for free in this world. I think you have already confirmed that for the years that you have been living in this world. So everything comes with a tag, okay? So why are these agencies coming to you and they want to pay for you everything? So this is how the agency is going to make or to get back their money. So the agency is going to pay you a rate. Currently, they are paying a rate of about $29 to $35 per hour, okay? And then they are going to have you sign, if you sign a contract with them before you do NCLEX, they are going to have you sign a contract of 3 years. So I need to tell you that in the US, the shorter the contract, the better for you. If you have a longer contract, it is not good for you. When you have a shorter contract, it's good for you because in the US, if you're moving from one job to another, you actually get a bonus. And you can get a bonus of about $20,000. That's more than 2 million Kenya shillings. They just give you a bonus because you have accepted a job. The shortage there is so bad. So the shorter the contract, the better for you. Most contracts in the US are 2-year contracts. But majority of these agents will give you a 3-year contract. Now, you can see that they are paying you $29 to $35 an hour. So what usually happens is that this agency has gotten this job with about 60 $50, $60, $70 an hour, then because they have sponsored you and they have not asked you for a dime, they pay you that, then the rest will be going to the agency and you have signed a confidential agreement. You should not discuss your salary with the hospital. Okay? So some people get there and they feel it is not good, so they want to breach the contract. But those contracts have a clause to prevent you from breaching. So if you want to breach the contract, you pay them back. Yeah. So if it comes to paying them back so that you can go to a job that where you are receiving your full salary, you would be paying them not less than $40,000 because you will have to pay them for the remainder of the time. So the contracts are different. There is an agency, if you work for them for 1 year, you can pay them for the remaining 2 years and you breach the contract. Other agencies, if you have worked for 2 years, you want to breach, they want you to pay for the whole 3 years because that is what their contract said. So even when you get to a point of getting a job, it will be very important for you to be very keen when you are reading that contract. And that is one thing that we do for our clients. Before they sign contracts, we have experts in our team who pass through those contracts and are able to advise them. Yeah. So when an agency sponsors you, it is not free, guys. The agency is going to get their cut, and it will get their cut in multiple times of what they have sponsored you. So please take note of that. Now, the other pathway, and this is now what we do, is what is called the self-sponsored program. So the self-sponsored program is whereby you sponsor yourself for the NCLEX process, then you join an employer after you have passed NCLEX. This is very beneficial because although it is you who pays for the NCLEX process, you are able to get a job of over $40 an hour. So 2 days ago, I was talking to one of our alumni who has already signed a job of $45 an hour, and another one signed up a job of $53 an hour. They have not yet gone to the US, but they got an employer after doing what we call the self-sponsored program. Because when you do the self-sponsored program, which is what Passcode offers, you don't join a staffing agent that is going to bond you and be getting a cut of your salary. You join what we call direct hire. This is whereby an agency comes in, but connects you directly to an employer in the US. So you negotiate your deal directly with the employer. So if you agree it's $40 an hour, that is what you're going to get. Okay. So you enjoy the benefits of being a staff RN in a hospital and not an agency RN in that hospital. So that is the difference. So I'm going to give you the cost of sponsoring yourself so that you can start planning yourself. When you want to do the self-sponsored program, there are some costs you're going to incur. At Passcode Consultants, for us to do for you the NCLEX registration processes, which is a process that takes about 4 to 6 months, we charge a fee of $200. For Kenyans, you pay us in Kenyan shillings, and we charge you a fee of 20,000. So you pay us 20,000, we are going to do for you the entire process of registrations for you to be eligible to sit for the NCLEX exam. Now, once we start registering you, the first registration will be with a body called CGFNS. CGFNS, you are going to pay a fee of $485. That fee that money you don't pay to us. To us, you just pay 20,000. So CGFNS fee, you will be paying using your Visa card. Yeah. Or your friend can pay for you using your Visa card, or your family member can pay for you using their Visa card. If you do not want to have, to go through the hassle, you can deposit equivalent of $485 to our account, and we are going to make the payment for you. So once we make that payment for you, you're going to get documents, 2 forms. One form is for licensure verification. You take it to Nursing Council, you pay them $12,000. They will fill the form and send it back to CGFNS. The other form, you're going to take it to your School of Nursing. They charge you their fee. Then you take it, they will send it back to CGFNS. Now, once CGFNS receives those documents, it is going to, in about 1 to 2 months, it is going to give a report called CES report, which verifies the items that I've previously talked about regarding you now as the applicant. So we register you with the Board of Nursing. You pay the Board of Nursing registration fee, which ranges from $75 to $200, depending on the board we choose, because each board has their own fees. Then the process of doing criminal background check will cost you about $70. Yeah, because there will be that $8.5 for doing the online application and about $5,800 for sending the papers back to the USA. Then from there, we will do exam registration, which is going to cost you $200. That is the process of generating the ATT. And then lastly, there will be the scheduling fee, exam scheduling fee, which is usually $150, depending on the country where you're going to sit for your exam. So currently, if you are in Africa, you can only do the exam in South Africa. Scheduling to South Africa is $150, and scheduling to India is $177. Now, there is also a fee for the NCLEX revision program, the class, which our class is a 4-month program, which we charge $300. For Kenyans, we charge in Kenya shillings, and that will be 30,000 Kenya shillings for a period of 4 months. So let me mention a little bit about our NCLEX preparation program. Our program is a 4-month comprehensive, very comprehensive program. The next intake is on July 15th. After July 15th, the next intake will be for September. Now, it is a very structured, well-coordinated program with very good, very high pass rates. Yeah. So we teach the NCLEX curriculum in totality. What some NCLEX tutors do, they just select some hard topics and teach you. So when you go to the exam, you're finding a question about, for example, about baby car seat. You see, in most of the places in nursing school, you don't learn anything about baby car seats. That when a baby is traveling in a car, they have to sit in a particular, they have to have a special seat for the baby. In the US, even a one-day-old baby cannot be carried on the arms or the arms of a parent. They have to be on a car seat, a specific one. Yeah. So our classes are very individualized because we do follow-ups for individuals and guide you completely until you achieve your goals. So these post-NCLEX fees, these ones are not very important for you for now because majority of them are usually paid by the employer, not unless you would like to do your process very fast, faster than what the employer wants. But basically what happens is that after you have passed NCLEX, your employer is going to take care of the other costs, and they are going to move you through the process. They are going to pay for your immigration costs. They will not ask you for a refund of the same. And then you move to the US and start practicing. So I don't think at this point it is the right time for us to talk about the post-NCLEX costs or preparations, because we will have more sessions to talk about them in the future. So now, because I've ended my presentation, I would like to talk to you about what you require for you to start the US process or to become a nurse in the USA. Okay. So allow me to share a blank Word document, and then I'm going to list for you there. And by doing so, I believe I will have answered some of the questions that people are asking. Okay. So let's call them requirements. Requirements of the USRN process. So when you want to start the USRN process, actually, let me call it USRN self-sponsored process. Yeah, so requirement number one, you need to be a registered nurse. Registered nurse. So as a registered nurse, what does this mean? You need to have your active license. So we should be able to confirm that you are registered by your nursing council. And of course, you will need your NCK, nursing council certificates. You will need that. Majorly what we require is the active license, and then NCK certificate, you'll need it as you go to NCK for verification. Then number two, you need transcripts. Transcripts from your school of nursing. So you need your transcripts from your school of nursing. So kindly mute yourself, the person who is talking there. So these two are the major documents that you need. If you have not collected your transcript from the School of Nursing, I would recommend, I don't know whether I'm sharing this document. So you guys are not telling me I'm not sharing the documents. Yeah. I think you can see it now, eh? Yes? Okay,
Yes.
just a minute. Okay. Yeah, so I have stopped sharing. I want to share again. I was changing something on my side. So these two documents are the major ones that you need. These two. You need your license and transcripts. Why am I saying major? I'm saying major because the that document you will need is what is called documents. So the identity document, most preferable is a passport. But if you don't have a passport, you can start the process with your ID or birth certificates. So I believe everyone either has a birth certificate or ID or both. Some of you already have the three. Yeah. So if you have not picked your license, make sure you pick it. If your license is expired, make sure you renew it. Transcript from the School of Nursing. Some schools take a long time to give transcripts when you apply, like KMTC. So make sure you apply early enough. Application for transcript from KMTC is just 1,000 shillings. Please make arrangement to apply early enough if you have not done so. Then requirement number 4, make sure your names are matching. Yeah, so that is names on your license, your transcripts, your identity documents, because we want to start the process with names matching so that you don't get problems when you are at advanced stages of the journey. Then requirement number 5 is the money. When you are whether you are being sponsored by an agency or you are sponsoring yourself, you will need money for the US process. So please take note of that. Then requirement number 5 is commitment. It is a demanding process. You go back to the books. I think since I was informed that majority of you are from school recently, I would assume that a good number of you are young in mind, fresh from school. So it will not be very hard for you to go back to the books. But the people we deal with, we deal with even old people, yeah, who completed school like 15 years ago. But they come, they studied the NCLEX and they pass it. So you guys, if you are young, fresh from school, you even have an advantage because you have not forgotten some of the things. Although there are some that you will need to unlearn and relearn for you to pass the NCLEX. Then the other requirements, maybe I will talk about a mentor or something like organization to guide you. So maybe I can say guide, and then I talk about passcode because that is what we do. Yeah. Okay, so once you have this, you are good to start the process. So what kind of money are we looking at here? We are looking about, for you to do the process, the NCLEX process and complete it, you will need about in terms of dollars, that will be about $1,600. In terms of Kenyan shillings, that will be about 230,000 to do the process, plus around 120,000 travel to test center. If the Nairobi center will not be working by the time you are doing the exam, yeah. So we have a center in Nairobi where you can do the exam, but it's not yet operational. If it will be operational by the time you are doing the exam, you need around 230K to complete the whole process. That is including NCLEX registrations and NCLEX revision program. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. I will request answer the questions. You allow me to answer the questions I can see on chat. Then we can take more questions. So someone is asking, you need an experience to apply and how long? Yeah, so if you look at the requirements that I have outlined, I did not include experience. It is not an error. For you to do the self-sponsored program, you don't need any experience. You just need to have your license. Experience, there is something I forgot to tell you about agencies. Agencies will come to you with a lot of conditions. You have to be working in a hospital that has 300 bed capacity. You have to have 2 years experience. Years from the time you start it to the time you'll go to the US. So if you started with 0 experience, by the time you're going to the US, you already have the 2 years experience. So when they tell you that you need to have 2 years experience for you to start, you wait to have those 2 years so that you can join an agency. Then you start after 2 years from now. If, for example, I assume you have 0 experience, then we are talking about 4 years of you doing the process so that you can go to the US. Yeah. So for the self-sponsored program, you don't need any experience for you to start because you are not binding yourself with any agency as you start. As Passcode, we are just going to guide you. We don't bond you that you have to work for us once you complete the process. But one thing I can assure you, you will get a job. Getting a job in the US right now is easy because of the shortage. So there are actually some of you who go for their licenses at NCK. The moment they pick license, they come directly to our office and they start the process. And they have gotten jobs even after completing NCLEX. By the time they are done with the process, they are usually about 8 months experience, and they get to sign contracts. Yeah. Sometimes agencies, when they don't have enough nurses, come out asking who wants to go to the US and they have 6 months experience. If you have the 6 months or 8 months experience and you have NCLEX, they are the ones who will be looking for you. Yeah. So approximately how much hourly rate for direct hire are we talking about here? I think I answered that. There is not a single person of ours who has done the NDEX as a private candidate and they have less than $40 an hour. The lowest I know is $42 an hour, okay? When we do webinars, we usually call them to come and talk to us. So please be checking for our next webinar. Someone is asking, Kwani, our Kenyan exam center start to function when? We don't know this because they had said they will start functioning by January of this year. It did not start. They told us February, it did not start. March, it did not start. So this is not something that as passcode we are able to answer because we don't want to give unreliable information. So once it starts operating, it is very easy to know because we can check on the website of NCSBN. So the NCSBN, or National Council of State Boards of Nursing, is the overall body for nursing councils in the US. And you cannot apply for NCLEX without registering with them. So even for the Kenyan Center, it will have to be registered, posted on the NCSBN website. So someone is asking, what if you upgraded diploma to degree? How do you do verification? So before we do verification for anyone, even if you have done diploma only, degree only, we have to examine your transcripts so that we can even determine the best state board of nursing we are going to register you with. Because there are some state boards of nursing you register with, and probably you don't know about their conditions and qualifications. And then after using a lot of money with those boards, you get stuck. Yeah. So then we advise on the best way to do the verification. So please leave that to us. When you come with your transcript, you are going to check that for you. But generally, what I can tell you, if you started with a certificate, then you did diploma, you will need to verify both. If you have done a degree, then you upgraded. If you have done a diploma and you upgraded to a degree, you can choose to verify the diploma only or the degree only, but we will have to make sure that the content in the transcript for the diploma only is enough for you. Okay, what of those nurses who started from certificate to diploma? I think I have already answered that. They qualify a lot and they have been passing NCLEX so well. Okay. Do they need nursing experience? If yes, at least how many months? I think I have answered that. Is 230K through the agency or self-sponsored? 230K is self-sponsored. And you can see that is the money you use to sponsor yourself and you get a very good salary. So if you compare someone who is getting $30 an hour and you get $40 an hour, the difference of $10 an hour for a contract of 3 years is a lot of money. So if you are able, sponsor yourself, do what we call self-sponsored. You get the benefits. If you are not able, it is better you join an agency and be sponsored than but you understand the conditions we are in. Does passcode assist us getting job once we pass NCLEX? Yes, very well. We have so many partners that we work with, and we will give you options. You will get like 5 contracts. You choose which one you're going to use. You compare them, so you go with the best deal. Yeah. For passcode, that is one of the easiest part of the process. Do you help someone get accommodation in the US? Yes, once you get your employer, most of the US employers help with the whole immigration process, including when you go to the US, they will be waiting for you. They will allocate someone to wait for you at the airport. So you don't need to know anyone in the USA for you to go there. Your employer is going to organize that. Some employers are actually going to organize a house for you. They send you pictures, they send you a video, you choose a house. They can even pay for you for the house for the first 1 month, and then they will deduct that from your salary. Yeah, so this should actually not worry you. They also do an orientation for you. They do an in-house orientation with they call mannequins. They have a simulation lab. So they show you how things are done in the US. And then when you go to work in a US hospital, you don't start working directly with patients. You will work under a nurse. That kind of nurse is called a preceptor. So the preceptor will be showing you how things are done up there until you are ready, you agree or you acknowledge that you are ready to be left alone, to work alone as an RN. Okay. Benefits of a staff RN, I think I talked about that. Maybe to recap, majorly it's about the pay. Yeah. You are looking at high hourly rate. And the hospital will not bond you that you cannot work, you will only have to work for them. You can take other shifts with other hospitals in your vicinity. Yeah. Then there are so many staff development programs that are usually done by the hospital. So as a staff RN, you will automatically qualify for those programs and many others that we can talk about. Can affidavit do in the case of order of names and appreciations? So Stephen, what we do, we have to check your documents first to see what is the problem with the name. The mismatch, we have to look at the mismatch, and then we will advise you whether an affidavit will work or not. As well, we will advise you at which point the affidavit is going to work and at which point the affidavit is not going to work. So you will have to join the program so that we can check, or you give us the documents, we check for you to be able to advise better. And then what else? Yeah, because you see in this process, we are passing through various institutions that will need to check your documents. For example, we start with CGFNS, they will be checking your documents. We go to boards of nursing, they will need to check your documents. We go to the one you will not want to have a problem with is actually the embassy. So what I would advise you, if some of your documents are documents that you can change so that you can have your names matching, the better. Yeah. Okay. So the other person is asking, when can I carry my kids also along with? Now, the visa that nurses use for the US process is a very good visa. It is a green card. Yeah, it is called the EB3 visa. If you're not going with the EB3 visa, you go with another one called H1B visa, which also allows you to go with your spouse and children below the age of 21 years. Yeah. So what happens is that as your visa is being processed, it is usually processed with your family. That is a spouse and children below the age of 21. So for those of you who have married, maybe you have married using a traditional means, or you are doing come we stay, or you intend to go together, please make arrangements and have a marriage certificate. It will help you with the process. Yeah, you will not have problems when you want to go with your person. So that visa the visa will be processed for your entire family, that is the nuclear family. And then when you are going to the US now, because by the time you are going, you have already not identified a house. So you will go alone first. Then when you go there, you are done with the orientation, you have secured an accommodation, you have bought a few things in the house. Now you call your family to join you, your spouse and the children, you call them to join you. Yeah, because by the time you are leaving your place, they will already be having a visa. Okay. So that is very important. So don't worry about, for the US, it is the best visa because it allows you to move with your family. Okay, so the other person is asking, the process takes how long, please? So the process of doing NCLEX takes, if you start today, it is going to take you about 4 to 6 months. If everything is held constant, you have the money, you have the funds, you have the time to study, you have the commitment. In 4 to 6 months, you'll have already taken NCLEX. Now, from the time you have taken NCLEX, we are talking about 1 to 1.5 years for you to be able to move. The reason why it takes 1 to 1.5 years is because the visa that carries nurses to the USA is a very competitive visa. So that visa has a quota in the entire world. So you'll find that we have a specific number that is allocated to Kenya, to a particular country per year. Yeah. So, and you will find that you have many nurses who want to move. Yeah. So that is why we usually have a long wait time, such that the people who are supposed to go last year, they might be forced to wait. Yeah, I mean, the coming financial year. The financial year for the US usually starts in October. So like in this October, we are expecting more visas will be issued to people who are already in the process and they have passed NCLEX. Please talk about nurses working in care homes, what the pay difference from the one working in the hospital. So majority of the nurses are going to the US, you will automatically go to work in the hospital, not in care homes. Care homes is famous with the UK, yeah. But for the US process, you'll most likely go to work in the care home. When you go there, you can choose to work in a care home, but the pay in the US, whether you're working in a care home or hospital, is not that different. You might find some nurses working in a care home actually being paid more than those who are working in the hospital, depending on various other factors. Who chooses the state to work in? The self-sponsored program, you have the advantage of choosing the state you want to work in, because you will not have a pressure after you have passed NCLEX. But when you have an agency sponsoring you, most likely they are going to give you, if they are very fair to you, they are going to give you like 3 states, you choose one. Others will not give you the advantage of choosing. Places they can post you. But in reality, in the US, jobs are available in all the states. So when you do the self-sponsored program, you choose where to work. So the self-sponsored program, how long? One be bought by the agency. So for the self-sponsored program, the agency is not going to bond you. Not unless you do the self-sponsored program and you still go back to staffing agencies that are going to bond you. Because some of the agencies out there will not tell you that they are staffing agents. You have to do your own background checks. And that is where as Passcode we come in to assist you. Look at this contract, we look at this contract and tell you, my friend, this is a staffing agent, they are going to bond you. So the advantage of a self-sponsored program is you are supposed to be employed directly by a hospital. The agency comes in to help you with the immigration process, because the immigration process is a complex process and the agency has its instruments. So the hospital contracts an agency called direct hire agency to help you with the immigration process. The work of the agency is to bring the nurse from their country to the hospital, but the nurse will be an employee of the hospital, not the agency. So you will not be bonded, but you're going to sign a contract of 2 to 3 years with the hospital which has sponsored your immigration. So I also need to mention that the reason why you must have an employer for you to move to the US with the EB3 visa is because the EB3 visa must be sponsored by an employer. Okay. What if you are not married, but you want to tag along your siblings? This is quite hard, I will not lie to you. So that is not possible, not unless with a different visa. Okay. So I have posted our office line on the chat box. So you can have it for your personal inquiries and also when you want to start the process. Are there conditions that can lead to visa denial? It is very hard for you to be denied a visa for a professional visa like the one for nursing, the major one that can lead you to being denied a visa is a criminal offense. So they usually conduct criminal background checks to ensure that, to ascertain that you don't have a criminal history. So otherwise, it's quite hard for you to be denied a visa. Very, very hard. Once I have signed a contract of the year 2 to 3 years, am I allowed to work in different hospitals simultaneously? Yes and no, because your contract will state whether they will allow you to work in other hospitals or not. So some agencies, especially staffing agents, the sponsoring ones, they usually have a clause whereby they have to write a letter for you to allow you to work in other hospitals. But if you are a staff nurse, it is very hard for you to for them to deny you to work in other hospitals, because hospitals will follow the laws of the state and the laws of the federal government. Is it true you have at least you have to have at least minimum of 2 years working experience before you go to USA? No, that is not true. I said you need 0 experience to start the US process under the self-sponsored program. Yeah. So there are any more questions? Maybe I can invite Emma to add to what I've said and maybe assist in answering some of the questions. Emma?
Still got a question. Humphrey.
Yes, please.
Mbona unamaliza?
Go ahead, sijamaliza.
Pre-perception, since you guys niseme I'm doing self-sponsored,
Yes.
then this is the first situation. The first situation, like I do the SGNF account for myself, like sindio. Then nakuja kwenyu ikifika part ya NCLEX. Obviously kuna katu mtataka, sindio?
Yeah.
That's the situation 1, eka kando hiyo kwanza. Then situation 2, I come with the idea like, so like from the opening the to account up to the direct hire.
I'm losing you.
Nasema option 1 umepata, sindio? The option 1 umepata, sindio?
Yes.
Like kuja kwenye for NCLEX revision, sindio?
Revision, yes.
Hiyo ni one, mtaniambia kati yenu hapo, hiyo mnaniambia mtacharge ngapi hapo. Then option 2, maybe I'm lazy to do maybe nimesema hiyo procedure itakuwa mingi itanikula kichwa. Nikasema sasa nyinyi mnafanya the entire thing from the opening the account to the director ya kutafuta boss wangu, si ndio?
Yes.
Alafu yenye inahitajika. Then another thing, hiyo ni 2 au unazishika venye na flow.
Nakushika.
Then 2, nataka uniambie like, okay, kuna obviously there's a total lump sum of money yenye lazima itatumika, si ndio? So at which stage like interval yenye nitakuwa natumia pesa nika interval inatoshana je? Hiyo SGNF account inachukua duration ngapi? Ndio tena nitumie do nyingine juu siwezi tumia once obvious, kuna inatumika per steps, si ndio? Then hiyo interval, hiyo ni 3 au hiyo ni 2? Hiyo ni 3, si ndio? Usisahau nataka nizimalize once. Then nini nafanya? Then after usha apply hivyo kuna hiyo delay ya ATT hiyo. Asa hiyo sijui ni full but hiyo ATT.
There are some guys who are not Kenyans, eh? Please speak.
Okay. I thought we are all Kenyans. So the issue with the ATT, why the ATT usually delay for some people, like the delay, what causes the delay with the ATT?
Okay. I think let me first of all address your first question and last question. Yeah. And then you will ask the second question. I did not get it well. Eh?
It's okay.
Yeah, so the first question you are asking, if you are doing registrations for yourself, can we help you with the NCLEX revision process, if I got you well? Yeah. So, yes, we don't have a condition that we must do everything for you. If you come to us, you see, for NCLEX revision program, we are charging $300. In Kenya shillings, that will be 30,000. That is what we charge. For the NCLEX registrations, we charge $200. In Kenya shillings, that will be, we charge 20,000. Okay. So when you come to us, you can come to us and tell us, I want assistance with NCLEX revision program. I'm going to do, or maybe I'm with an agency. You know, we get people, even those who are with agencies, and the agencies are doing registrations for them. So if you want the NCLEX prep course only, you just pay us $300 or 30,000 Kenya shillings if you are a Kenyan. If you want NCLEX registrations only, you pay us $200 or 20,000 Kenya shillings if you are a Kenyan. If you want us to do both, yeah, you pay us 200 plus 300, that is 500. Or 20,000 plus 30,000, that is 50,000. From our experience, if you can afford to pay us all for both processes, it is usually easier and more convenient for you, because these registrations, some of them are sensitive. You see, like this CGFNS fee of $485, when you go to the CGFNS website, you will find that there are many services that you can purchase there. We have found people who have purchased the wrong service with CGFNS, spending hundreds of dollars. And the CGFNS policy is that it is non-refundable. They can't refund once you have paid. Other people have messed with their CGFNS profile. It's usually a complicated profile. So by the time you correct the mess, you find that there is a loss somewhere. When it comes to a process of like choosing a board of nursing, when their CES report comes out, they realize they cannot do NCLEX, probably because they don't have a social security number, or they don't have the required scores for IELTS. Sometimes it can bring frustrations when you want to do the process by yourself and you don't have that knowledge. The last question you asked is, what causes ATT delay? Is that so? Joel, is that what you asked? Oh. So Joel, I can't hear you, but I think you had asked what causes ATT delay. So ATT delay is not very common, unless currently we have seen some delays with Texas Board of Nursing for various reasons, which are being worked on. I think soon and very soon they are going to get back to how they used to operate. So it's just very few cases that we have had ATT delays with. And it has been a question of backlog, because many people are doing the process. So many people want to move to the US. And it's not only in Kenya, it's from different countries in the world. So your second question, Joel, I did not get it well. Kindly, if you can re-ask, it will be good.
Hello?
Yes, please ask your second question.
It has elapsed. Anyway, I have another question.
Yes.
So I have a friend. Okay, this is a real situation. He went to she's a Nigerian. She went into USA, Maryland. Then later they didn't welcome her well. So she had to change to another place. Plus, she wanted to upgrade her degree. And the policy that she was given by the university that she wanted to upgrade with was in a specific state, like New Jersey, you know. So she had to change. So I don't know if that's you guys is through you or the hospital. I don't know. Like tukishaenda huko, what happened?
You see, now that is personal undertaking. If someone wants to upgrade their education, it's not necessarily an initiative of the hospital. It is not part of the contract. It is something personal. So for personal issues, you will have other agencies or other service providers that provide such a service, and they are going to help you with such a service. Currently, in our program, we don't do education programs. It is something that we would wish to expand to in the future, but for now, we don't. Yeah. But what I can tell you is that there are so many opportunities for learning in the US. In fact, if, for example, you have done a diploma in nursing and you would like to upgrade to a degree, you just study for 1 year, and it's called RN-BSN program, and you are studying online. And within 1 year, you don't even go to the to hospital to do clinicals. They just take the experience of the hospital where you're working in. And within 1 year, you become a BSN. So
okay, then okay, just finish.
So as you ask your second question, someone is asking, can you register for NCLEX and do the exam without others like CGFNS and document verification? No. The process of doing verification is part of NCLEX registration. So there is no NCLEX that you can register with. It is not possible at all to register for NCLEX without doing the pre-NCLEX registration processes. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, I was asking, mostly I've seen you have measured with the most of the things that you have tackled, majorly you have measured with the US. So why don't you contemplate the two, like either someone want to go to UK, others want to go to US. So you know the UK people didn't get their part.
Now, the reason why I've measured on the US is because the brief you had given me is that people want to know about the USRN process. And also because talking about the processes for each country needs a whole session. Say, for example, if I want to brief you about the UK process now, it will need a whole session. If I want to brief you about the Germany session, it will need a program. It will also need a session. So what I would advise is that, even for the US, you have not exhausted everything. There is so many to talk about. There's so much to talk about, sorry. So what I would advise is that we can keep on doing these meetings. You guys can be suggesting what you want us to talk about. And after a series of about 5 or so meetings, you will have enough information to make your decisions. Yeah. Otherwise, allow me to mention that if you want to work in the UK, in New Zealand, in the Republic of Ireland, you need to start by doing the English exam, IELTS, and you must get a band of 7 in almost all parts, except one, which you can get a 6.5. For UK, you must get a 7 in speaking, a 7 in listening, a 7 in reading, and at least a 6.5 in writing. Once you have those scores, we are going to register you with the Nursing Council for that particular country. If it's the UK, we talk about NMC, the Nursing and Midwifery Council. And then you do an exam called CBT. So after doing CBT, you now go to the point of getting an employer. And after getting an employer, you are going to move to that country as an assistant nurse because you have done part of the registration exam. So when you move there as an assistant nurse, you will go to do the other part of the exam while you are there. It is called OSCE. So once you pass it, that is when you become a fully registered UK nurse. So that's for the UK. If I go to I've not exhausted it. If I go to Ireland, it's another process different, again, somehow different from the one for the UK. But what I would want to say right now to you, the pathway for the UK right now, for many countries in Africa, is not moving faster as it should have because of amber listing and red listing. So you have to check, first of all, whether your country is green listed by the UK. So if it is green listed, it is very easy to move to the UK. But if your country is in amber list like Kenya, or red list like many other countries in Africa, the process of the UK might disappoint you, because you can do those other things very easily, but getting an employer will be a challenge. Yeah. So that is what people are experiencing. The easiest country to move right now, if you would like to move very fast, is a country called Germany in Europe. Yeah. So we assist people also to move to Germany, nurses, that is. And for you to move to Germany, you need to do the German language. Majorly, that is what you need. Because once you have the German language up to a level called B2, you will immediately start the immigration process of moving to Germany as a nurse. All the other things of document verification, whatnot, recognition, you are going to do them while you are in Germany working as an assistant nurse for a period of about 6 months. And you will be doing language at the level of B2 and document recognition. Then you become a fully registered nurse in Germany. So if you're looking at a shorter process that is going to take you about 9 months to 1 year, then you would talk about Germany. So for Germany, you would need to do the German language first. And then after doing the German language, you will start immigration. Okay. So maybe I can share with you. I can share with you. Let me see. Let me share with you something about Germany. Yeah, so this is a breakdown about Germany process. So the salary in Germany currently is about 3,500 euros per month. For you to start the immigration, you have to study German language up to the level of B1. And at Passcode, we offer the German language online module. You have to do A1. After doing A1, we give you an exam. You move to A2. Once you have passed the exam for A2, we move you to B1. Once you do B1, we give you an exam. If you pass that exam, we qualify you for Goethe Institute exam. So you go do the Goethe Institute exam. And once you have done it, you get a B1 certificate. You will now sign a contract with an employer and start the immigration process to Germany. And we have so many employers who are asking for nurses who have B1. And this is a process. Doing the German language is something you can do within 6 to 9 months. Yeah. Then when you you sign a contract, it will take you about 3 to 4 months to migrate, to do the immigration process. Then you move to Germany. Then you go work there under a temporary license. As you do B2 language, you continue with language, you do B2. And you also do a process of recognition, which your employer is going to help you. That is like what we were talking about, CGFNS, whatnot, because they have to ascertain that you went to a school. And then after that, now you will do an exam with German Nursing Council, and then you become a full registered nurse, and you start earning a full salary for a nurse. Yeah. So again, our class for that is starting on 15th July. If you want to join the German language, you can contact us through the number that I shared, and you will get more details and you can start the process. Okay. Which institute is better in learning German language? Just come to us. We are going to teach you. We have a very comprehensive program. What about Canada, IELTS, or French language? We don't do the process for Canada. We don't do the process for Australia. Currently, we are not doing. We have posted those programs. And we are also in the process of posting the UK program because we don't want to do programs for people and then they get problems getting a job. For us, we only do programs where we want to be sure that you will get a job because at the end of the day, you are spending your money so that you can get a job and be able to advance your career and get all those other benefits. So for now, we are doing the German process and the US process. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
And IELTS, which one should come first? Because I hear some state in the US doesn't require IELTS. So what's your take there?
You do NCLEX first.
Like which one will you prefer first? Like for example, I want to go into New York, for example, New York State. I heard that they don't need IELTS there. So what's your take? Like which one should come first?
Between what and what?
NCLEX and IELTS.
You do NCLEX first.
Like which one between IELTS and NCLEX?
Yeah, I'm saying you should do NCLEX first.
Oh.
So guys, I know we can't discuss everything in one meeting. Can we have one of you giving a vote of thanks? Maybe you say what you have learned from this meeting, and then we can call it off. We can do another meeting in another day. Any volunteer? Now this, it should not be my friend who has asked so many questions. Should be a different person this time round. Not Joel. Anyone?
Hi.
Hi, Cecilia.
Oh, thank you for the wonderful presentation. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
I am saying thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Okay.
I've learned quite a lot. And I'm looking forward to becoming a US registered nurse.
Okay.
And with time, I might enroll with your program. Yes, thank you for sharing.
You are so much welcome, Cecilia, and the others. What I can assure you is... Yes?
Oh, I'm sorry. I also have another question. Let's say I want to enroll in the passcode registration program and I don't have the full amount. Am I allowed to pay in installments? Am I only allowed to pay the full amount?
Okay. For that, it's best that you call that you can chat on WhatsApp the number that you are given. Then you will be able to discuss with the person who deals with that. It will be best in that, but we usually require the full amount.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Cecilia and others. What I can assure you is that when you join a passcode, we will not disappoint you. We have alumni that have gone through our program and they have made it and they are so very proud of passcode. By the way, I need to, for those of you who are in Nairobi and those who can make, we will be having a hike on 10th of August. I will send the poster to Joel so that he can share. We will be having a hike to Kilimambogo hill. It is called Oldonyo Sapuk. You can Google about it. It is on your way to Garissa past Thika town in Machakos County. So you are so much welcome to come and hike with us. It is a hike for NCLEX. We want to hike for NCLEX because people believe that NCLEX is quite hard, but we have proven it is not. It is very doable. So it is a medium hike. More details will be given to you for those who would like. There's also an opportunity for you to come and know who we are, and also networking with other nurses, and also learning more about the USRN program. Yeah, so we can't complete everything in one meeting. We will coordinate with Joel, and then we will do another meeting. Continue sending your questions, discussing the process, so that we can know what should be the next topic after this. So I want to thank you so much, and have a nice evening for those who are in the night time. Thank you so much.
And let me say thank you to, since it was a brief inquiry from you, and you responded fast. So thank you for that. It was a one-day thing, since I texted yesterday, and the event happened today. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it a lot.
In fact, when I was
once the recording is ready tomorrow, we are going to give you a link.
It's okay.
All right.